In conducting a mini-survey, you have to know how it is done. Mini-surveys are carefully focused on a specific topic. It contains only 15 to 30 questions. It is given to a small sample of 25 to 70 people. It usually uses more closed than open-ended questions, that is, they use questions that force the respondent to choose from a small set of alternative answers, rather than inviting a freely expanded comment. Some uses of the mini-survey are: 1. To get a picture that will help you to design the next stages of your research. 2. To assess the feasibility of a project. 3. To get reactions from beneficiaries. 4. To evaluate projects. A mini-survey can be completed in 3 to 7 weeks compared to large surveys that can take a year before the whole process to be completed and the results analyzed. 1. Technically, mini-surveys for development research are usually structured interviews rather than questionnaires, because questionnaires exclude people who cannot read. Interviews have the added advantage of allowing you to help people through a process that may be culturally alien, confusing, or intimidating. 2. The respondents are few. 3. A mini-survey may not give you great precision, it may be good enough to give you a general picture of the situation, trends, and patterns. Steps in conducting a mini-survey. Step 1. Clarify your objectives. Ask yourself: A. What do I want to find out? B. Is this technique the way to get this kind of information? C. When I get the answers to these questions, will they meet my needs? Step 2. Find out what else has been done. There are ready-made survey questions which were utilized by some researchers and may be good enough for your purposes. This may provide you with some useful ideas and information and will allow you to use for your study. This may also let you go a little further, for it gives a little ease to do. However, do not automatically use someone else's questions unless you are convinced they will work for you. Step 3. Choose the respondents. First, you must decide whether you are going to ask your questions of the entire group, or second, you use sampling. Step 4. Develop the questions. Prepare your questions to be asked from your respondents. Learn to write good questions by thinking things through and by knowing about the people who will answer them. Guide in writing questions, the do's and the don'ts. The following guidelines for writing questions were adapted from the work of cross-cultural research experts Brislin, Lahner, and Thorndike, 1973, who created them to help in translating questions from one language to another. But they are useful even when you do not have to translate. 1. Use short, simple sentences of less than 16 words. However, sensitive questions may require a softener. 2. Use the active rather than the passive voice. Should the teachers discipline the students rather than should discipline be carried out by the teachers? 3. Repeat nouns instead of using pronouns. When the teacher saw memorandum, he was terrified. Who was terrified? 4. Avoid metaphors and colloquialisms. Earl and Elgin agreed, but Eloise thought that was a horse of a different color. 5. Avoid the subjective mode, such as verbs with could and would. If the school could improve its security system, would people send more girls? Avoid vague words such as nearer, often, and frequent. Would you like to live nearer to Baguio? 6. Avoid possessive forms where possible. Mila's sister took her request to her teacher, whose request, whose teacher. 7. Use specific rather than general terms. The chief, the teacher, rather than the authorities, the soccer club, the debating team, rather than extracurricular activities. 8. Avoid words with two different verbs if the verbs suggest two different actions. Should villagers attend and challenge the teachers at the parent-teacher meetings?